Okay, I'm gonna rank all the scary movies from worst to best. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Number 6, Scary Movie 6. This movie was one of the worst movies I've seen in a while, and this is definitely one of the movies where I'd put in my top 10 worst movies of 2026. The dialogue was terrible. The dialogue was only focused on trying to just like complain about what's going on in society. For some reason, they have that the itch to mention every single problem that was going on in society right now, from between whenever Scary Movie 5 came out up until now. The original OG actors were terrible. None of them were funny. I don't know if it's because the lines they had or the way they were being directed as actors. None of the jokes were hitting for them, and they were the funniest parts of the original movies, like Scary Movie 1, Scary Movie 2. I'm just sitting there thinking like, oh no, like if they're not even funny, then what the hell am I even watching right now? And then you also have like the new characters that are like the, I guess, the next gen. They were so... There's no word to describe how bad they were. I hated them. I hated them. None of them were funny. And the pacing was terrible because of how bad the jokes were, because they had that long drawn out scenes to where I'm sitting there thinking, are we done yet? Are we actually done yet? Or are we just gonna keep doing this? There was just so many dragged out scenes. You know, Ray was one of the highlights for me in the first two movies, but in this movie, I just didn't really like him, really. If TikTok was a person and if TikTok made a movie, this is what it would be. Number 5, Scary Movie 5. So honestly, this ain't far off from number 6. This movie was terrible as well, abysmal. It felt like if a deleted scene had a film, like if they had like a bunch of deleted scenes and they collaged it into one film, this would be this. I'm just sitting there thinking like, why are we even making this movie? What is the point of this movie? Why are we even watching it? Because I felt like it had nothing to say. The jokes wasn't funny. You had the guy George from Scary Movie 3 who I thought was really funny, but even in this movie, I just didn't care for him. I didn't really find him funny in this movie. I didn't find anything in this movie funny. You know, you had like random scenes that happened to where I'm just thinking, what is going on? And to be honest, I haven't actually even seen this film in a long time. I'm never gonna rewatch it, but I do remember enough to remember how bad it was. It felt like a filler film. I feel like it didn't need to exist. If I think this is bad, number 6. You know what I mean? Number 4, Scary Movie 4. So with Scary Movie 4, it's one of them movies where, you know, like, you still had some good actors in it. Like, you had that Kevin Hart, you had that other actor with him. I can't remember what the actor's name is, but he's kind of like Kevin Hart's friend in the movie. I think you know what I'm talking about. I'll probably put a picture up in it. But I feel like they were the highlight in this film. I feel like they were really funny. You know, I never really found Kevin Hart, or even still, I don't really find Kevin Hart a funny guy, if I'm being honest with you, because it's just kind of the same rehashed jokes. But for some reason in the Scary Movie franchise, I thought he was absolutely hilarious. And even in this movie, he was hilarious along with his friend. And I feel like what's creative about this film, or at least these two characters in particular, is that they always give them that sort of creative dialogue. I wouldn't even say it's like creative. It's one of them dialogues where, you know, them dialogues where you kind of have to sit down and think, wait, what did they say? It's interesting what they're saying, but it doesn't make sense at the same time. But it does. But you kind of have to sit there and listen to make it make sense. I don't know. I really enjoyed the dialogue between Kevin Hart and that guy. That was one of like the highlights for me in Scary Movie like 3 and obviously in this movie. Other than that, like the movie was a bit like bland to me. Like I don't know, it wasn't hitting the same. I didn't really find it that funny. It was somewhat still funny, but overall, I just felt like the storyline wasn't really doing it for me. I understand that these movies are parodies, but I still like the progression between each scenes that happens. You know what I mean? And I feel like the scenes that were happening in each scene, it just wasn't really like hitting for me. This is a movie where I kind of just checked out of the Scary Movie franchise. Number 3, Scary Movie 2. Scary Movie 2 was such a good movie. So goddamn hilarious. Everyone in this movie was amazing, especially the guy with the small hand or the little fingers and whatnot. He was so hilarious. The dialogue between him and the guy in the wheelchair, amazing, amazing. The jokes in this movie it landed so perfectly. Everything about this movie in terms of jokes, perfect. I just feel like they did a good job with the way the, you know, jokes were written and the actors delivered. I thought Ray in this movie was absolutely hilarious. He was really funny. This is when, you know, the character Ray, you know, in his good old days, he actually was funny. You know, some people thought that his jokes were repetitive from the first movie. I didn't think so. I feel like it was still funny. I thought the haunted house vibe, like the setting, was like met to me. More at the start, I liked it, in the middle, but then once it was starting to get near the end, it just wasn't flowing for me. And like I said, the haunted vibe, the haunted environment just didn't really care for, honestly. It's definitely a movie that if you sit, I had to rewatch again. No problem, fam, no problem. Number 2, Scary Movie 3. Honestly, this is a hard one for me between Scary Movie 3 and Scary Movie 2. It could have gone either way, but the only reason why I put Scary Movie 3 above Scary Movie 2 is because I feel like as a story, like watching it from A to B, it just flows better for me. It just, as a movie, like sitting down watching it, it just flows better for me. And my days, fam, Kevin Hart in this movie, I loved him. Like I said before, I never cared for Kevin Hart as an actor. I still don't. But for some reason in these movies, he's just hilarious, man. He was a highlight for me in this film, along with his friend, like I mentioned before, that I can't remember, the guy with the dreadlock. Their dialogue once again was very creative, very like weird, but interesting at the same time. I also loved the character George in this movie. He made me laugh. There was a specific line he had in this movie that kind of killed me. I thought it was hilarious. And the jokes landed properly for me. I really thought the joke was hitting for me. A lot of people didn't like this movie, which I don't really understand why, honestly. Like, I think apparently there was like 2 versions of this movie, so maybe they could have seen like maybe I saw like the better version of the movie, which is why I thought this movie was good. Maybe they saw like the worst version, because honestly, I could not understand what people hated about this movie. I thought the jokes were hilarious. I thought Charlie Sheen in this movie was okay. Like, I didn't really love him or anything. Like, he wasn't necessarily the highlight for me, but I do feel like he was okay. Like, he wasn't really like a detriment to the film. He was just kind of there, if that makes sense. I also thought the cameos were quite interesting and actually good and funny. I thought the movie references in this movie was very much scary and very unsettling to me for some reason. Even when I was a kid watching this, I don't know what it was, but this movie felt so scary to me. Like the reference on The Ring, when you have the Ring lady, like for some reason in this film she felt so terrifying to me. And actually I remember watching this as a kid and just being very much like scared. I don't know, man. That's what I love this movie, man. I loved it so much. Number 1, Scary Movie 1. Every single joke in this movie landed. Bro, like if you want to watch a parody movie, what Scary Movie? Everyone was funny. I feel like this was when Ray was in his prime for me. The actor that played Ray, he was so hilarious in this movie. He stole the show in this movie easily. A lot of characters were also good, of course, like Brenda. The scenes we had with Brenda, especially like the scene with her, you know, being in the cinema, hilarious, fam. Brenda in this movie also to me was in her prime in this movie. When they were referencing stuff, it felt earned and it felt right and it made sense. It didn't feel like it was forced in your throat. The movie was flowing, the pacing was good, the actors were good, the characters were good, and it was a perfect scary movie. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, comment down below, let me know what you thought about this, you know, ranking, if you hated my ranking or if you loved it, or how you make your ranking. And yeah, I might be interested to hear, man. But anyways, in a bit, man.